Hello and welcome to episode 173, and for this video the three of us have come down to, well, I've come up actually to Bluebell lakes again. So the plan was to try and be on linear this weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, St John's what we got.
But a bit like 4 weeks ago when we ended up on Huntscorn, St John's is absolutely, well, the whole of linear is rammed because both braisnose lakes are shut, so the rest of the complex is taking up the slack. So we've had to sort of change plans, so we've ended up here at Bluebell lakes.
Which isn't a bad shout, is it?
Not a bad shout.
Yeah.
No, I like that.
Yeah. So Mark and Simon have already been here a while. I've only just rocked up, just to get fish in because we're losing the light. I've just pub chucked 3 rods, roughly 16-17 wraps. And
oh, look who's here. Come here. Come on. Come on.
He's off.
He's off.
He's off for a poo.
Yeah.
Right, and anyway guys, so I've still got the rest of my kit to completely set up yet, so
I'll go back to me nap.
yeah, it's probably the last time we'll see Mark now. He'll probably be sleeping for the rest of the session. So, right, till something carpy happens,
Let's go fishing.
let's go
Let's
sleeping.
go fishing.
Well, the first night has passed then guys, and all apart from Simon having a tench, nothing has happened last night. Been a really quiet night, so yeah, so nothing to show for our efforts, but so this is going to be the first proper full day, so I can start sort of doing stuff properly, because by the time I was set up last night and the home was up, didn't really have time to do anything else last night. So this morning stuff can be done properly, like baiting up, etc. So we'll look at that when we start doing that. But yeah, all quiet on the fish front so far. So it's no bait went out at all in my swim yesterday, just the PVA bags. So bait boats are allowed here, so I've brought mine with me. So I'm gonna have a little play with that later on and sort of drop a good bed of bait out with that later on and see if that will do anything. Hey, catch you later. There we go guys, so Simon's just knocking up a bit of a spod mix.
Would you like to see my spod mix, Chris? It's corn. There's about, I don't know, probably 50 or 60 little 10 millers in there, and just corn, and that's it. Yeah, get some out. Not a lot, as you can see. Little tip for you guys, when you've casted your spom out, or spod, leave it in the water for 30 seconds. That way the seagulls won't dive down on your bait as fast because they're scared of the spom. So just leave it there for a little while and then retrieve it.
A little jack pike sitting in the margins. He's probably only about £1, bless him. Right then guys, so I have just spent a bit of time doing some leading around, trying to find some clear spots to fish on, and well, I'm glad I did, because it is quite weedy out there in my swimming patches, so I've just had to spend a bit of time just chucking just a bare lead around on the end of my main line. I haven't bothered getting the marker rod out, and yeah, so took a bit of time because there's a fair bit of weed out there, but basically I found clear spots at 21.5 wraps on 2 rods, and this one is 20.5 wraps, so that's 80 yards, so 82 yards on this rod, and 86 yards on the other 2 rods. So I'm thinking as well I might have to change my inline bag tactics as well to maybe an inline drop off, because yeah, if I do get a fish and it gets caught up in that weed, I want to be able to get the fish through all that weed, and the only way I think of doing that is to drop the lead, so if you get a fish on, basically the fish comes straight up to the top then, because they ain't got the weight of the lead dragging them down to the bottom. So yeah, so I think I need to change tactics. Like I say, even though I've been leading around, I'm still going to use my boat, because I'm going to put some bait out as well on each spot, and to make sure everything, all the baiting is mega accurate. Well, you can't get more accurate than dropping your rig and a boat full of spot mix all in one go, so that's going to be my tactic. Wind's picking up a bit now, so don't know if that'll make a difference to the fishing conditions. Right, anyway, I think I need to, like I said, sort out some inline drop-off lead rigs and then get sorted. Right guys, so I'm getting me rigs sorted out now to contend with the weedy conditions out there. As I said earlier on, just after I finished me wrapping up, I said I was going to do the inline drop-off rigs. So I've got them set up now. So if you haven't seen an inline drop-off lead, I'll have a little run through with it just to show you what it's all about. I haven't used this rig for quite a while, to be fair, but basically what you've got, so it all goes in a solid PVA bag, so short braided hook link. I've got on a curved shank hook here, barbless, as it's a strict barbless rule here at Bluebell Lakes, Tutti Frutti wafter. And then the bit that makes it drop off is that, if you can see that the leader runs through the outside of the lead. So the way you set that up is, right, so you have your lead. Oh, the swan's going mental in front of me. But basically you have that sort of affair on your leader, sort of a swivel back to front on your hook link and a tail rubber. And what you do, you get your lead, you put the bare end of the swivel into the bottom of the lead, like so, and then the leader goes on the outside of the lead, and then you take your tail rubber, diddly do, diddly do, diddly do, and push it over the lead insert. So what you have is now that, and basically, if I can demonstrate it, what you do, so now you have to imagine this end is attached to my main line, this end is attached to a fish. Basically what happens during the fight, ow ow ow, without stabbing myself, so what happens first of all is that when you got the pressure from both ends, the swivel will pull out the bottom of the lead, so the lead then is just hanging on by the tail rubber, and then with a bit more fighting, diddly do, it will drop off completely, and then without the weight of the lead hanging on the fish then in theory comes up to the top of the water away from the weed, and thus giving you no trouble with the weed. Right, so I'll just get all that set up again, and what you should always do is, what I haven't done yet, is to wet the top of the lead before you put the tail rubber on. If you just wet it just on the top of that insert, it shouldn't give you any issues with it once it goes into a PVA bag. So that is that. So I haven't actually needed to use a rig like this for quite a while, to be fair, but right, anyway, right, just got to bag them up now into the solid PVA bags, like I say, and then I'm going to use my boat to actually get them out to the spots, mainly just so I can be mega accurate with the bait in and get all the bait exactly on the rigs. Right, let's crack on. Alright guys, Mark's just Mark, now he's awake.
Yeah.
He's putting out a bit of bait.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lovely bucket of goodness. What's he got in there, mate?
Some crush, nut crush, and just some ordinary corn and some red corn. Really, that is it. Some hemp oil. Simple as that, really. Just been soaking overnight. It's lovely, as you can see out in the lake. It just puts.
Is it just coloured red corn?
Yeah, just coloured. Yeah, just flavoured. Well, strawberry red corn.
All right, lovely job.
That's it. So, just make a mess for the swans later.
Yeah, don't want to go through your lines again. They are a bit of a nightmare, the swans on this lake, aren't they?
Yeah, a little bit. There's so many of them, isn't there? Let's flatten some water.
Alright guys, so it's getting to that time now where I'm going to put my rods out. I've actually left my rod wound in for a little while just to kind of rest the swim while I went and used the on-site facilities and that kind of thing. I'm going to put my rods out, as I've already said. Going to use the boat. Spod mitt, you can see that in there. Try and get a bit of light in there, there we go. It's a spod mix that I'd actually already made up on a previous session, but I had a bit left over, so kept it. It's just the tutti frutti and sweet corn, some 10 millers, some crumb and sweet corn. But since I actually used it on my last session, I've given it a boost with some I've got on test from Hinders, and that is some tutti frutti oil that they're possibly going to start producing. So I've, well, you can see how empty the bottle is, so I've put that much into that mix just to give it a bit of an oily tutti frutti boost. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to use the boat, so better crack on really, otherwise by the time I finish fanning around it's going to be dark. Right guys, so that's all 3 rods now out. As you just saw, use the boat. Only showed 1 rod going out with a boat because to be fair, it is a bit of a flaff trying to put a PVA bag out in a boat, especially when you've, you know, weren't too bad on the first rod because the boat was dry then, but when it comes to the second and third rods, what I had to do is I put a layer of pellet in the bottom of the hopper for this PV bag to sit on, so it had something dry to sit on before all the that spod mix went in that I showed you. So I'll probably put, I mean that bait boat isn't very big anyways, but it probably takes about 1 kilo of bait, so I mean I filled it up, so I thought the first night didn't do anything just on sort of solid bags, so I filled the hopper up to its capacity, so you know, about 1 kilo of bait. So yeah, so 1 kilo of bait has gone out with each rod, and yeah, try that tactic of, you know, the rig sitting in amongst a big pile of bait. Obviously when it drops through the water it will spread out a bit, it's not just going to be like that, it will spread out, but yeah, anyway, like I say, all 3 rods are out, we're fishing, we're organised, we're sorted. Just wait for the fish to do their bit now, hopefully. Right then guys, so second night unfortunately was another quiet night on my part of it. We had a little bit of action in Simon's swim last night with, he had another tench. But before that, he'd actually hooked a carp. Well, it actually had hooked 2. Yesterday he put out a zig rig, and evening time he had a take on the zig rig. Unfortunately, it was taking line. When he picked up the rod, there was nothing there. He was just getting that rod back out, cast it back out, and while he still had his rod in his hand, his middle rod went, which was on a runny rig, and Yeah, playing it, got it all the way into almost at the net. We could see the fish. I think Simon had his rod up in his air, was doing a stretch for the fish, and the fish just done a lunge and a turn, and it spat the hook, and we watched it swim away as the rig come flying back to Simon. And after a few damn flips, yeah, that's the way it goes. So, but sometimes that's what happens when you fish a venue with a barbless rule. So, so there was a little bit of action in Simon's swim. Didn't get the time to get the camera out, unfortunately, to see any of that action. But and likewise with me, been down to see Mark this morning. He has not had a bleep whatsoever. So, like I say, it's actually lunchtime now. Gonna start actually packing away the non-essentials in a little bit, and aim for packing up the fishing side of things in about 2 hours time. So there's still time yet. The wind has really picked up today, and it's a cold wind. Air pressure's dropped about 10 millibars today, so I don't know, maybe a slight change in conditions might hopefully do something for the last couple of hours. I haven't recast my rods or anything today. Obviously everything went out with a bait boat last night, so baiting and everything was mega accurate, so I don't feel there was any need to wind in and recast just for the sake of it. Plenty of bait went out on them spots yesterday, so I'm not worried about there not being any bait round my rig. Right, anyway, gotta start packing up these non-essentials now, and just keep our fingers crossed for the last sort of 2-3 hours worth of fishing. Right guys, so it was only literally half hour ago I was giving you an update saying nothing had happened about Simon's loss in the night. Chatting to Simon in his swim about packing up soon, and left hand rod raced away with an absolutely golden scaled minter. How about that? So I've finally broken in them new rods. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So, left hand rod, 21.5 wraps out over that big bed of bait. Taken on a tutti frutti wafter in the old PVA bag on the rig I showed you yesterday. Woken up more in the mat now than it put up a fight. Didn't really put up much of a fight at all. It is quite cold, so I think the fish was a bit lethargic. But it finally means I've broken the blank. Right, we'll try and show you one more time because she's getting a bit lively. Yeah, 11.5 pound as well, by the way. So, not a massive fish, but I think you'll all agree she's a belter looking wise. Absolutely golden looking scales. Right, yeah, we'll leave it at that because she's getting a bit lively. Right, finally christened the new rods.
Well done, Christopher. Right guys, we're with Chris again.
I know I've got a list, but you have to take the piss.
Right guys, we're with Chris again, and he's into fish number 2. Literally about 10 minutes from putting that last fish back. Right, I'll leave it there and we'll go back to him when he's got it on then. Matt.
Right, don't put some water over, Mark. Right then guys, fish number 2. I'd only put the first fish back about 15 minutes before this one went off. Simon had finally managed to eat his crumpet.
Marvellous.
And
honey everywhere.
the middle rod raised off. Exactly the same range, 21.5 wraps, still on the Tutti Frutti wafter, solid PVA bag, inline drop off lead. Obviously they drop the lead every time, and playing the fish, it gave me absolutely no trouble with the weed that's out there. So it's taken a bit of time, but they've decided to start coming in at pack up time. Right, get a few stills and then get her back. Right then guys, so that is it. Mark is packed up. I've still got one rod fishing, so has Simon, but we are packing up now. So, turned out to be an alright session in the end, didn't it?
Yeah, it's been good.
For you two. Bugger.
I'm lucky, mate.
Yeah. How many takes do you get, Mark?
Yeah. 4 now, innit? Yeah.
Unfortunately, the fish that Simon hooked, unfortunately, well, carp wise, come off before the net, so we didn't get to see that. But
well, we did see it. We saw the whites of its eyes, didn't we?
Well, we saw it. The camera didn't.
No.
So yeah, it turned out all right for me in the end, guys. So that is it. We're off. We're off home.
Yep.
You've got the longest drive. Well,
Yeah.
4
4
hours.
hours.
You two have got about
Yeah,
7.
about the same. Yeah, about 3.5 hours.
Right. I've no idea where or when I'm going to be fishing next, guys. So yeah. Till then, tight lines,
See you later.
wet nets,
See you later.
bendy rods,
Bye.
and all that.
And all that. Like that. All that.